Well, are you ready for some unindoctrination? I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Thank you and welcome to the channel. We're so glad to have you here. We try to bring you some good news of unindoctrination, and the best news that we bring is that you are divine, you're sovereign, you're free. You don't have to go and bend the knee to anybody else's savior because you don't need salvation. If you want the t-shirts that I wear on the show, just go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on any plastic Jesus you happen to see. It's through our friends at Conspiracy Tees. You can get the t-shirts that I wear, and you can support the channel. We got a good show for you tonight, folks. We're going to talk going back to the Outwitting the Devil book by Napoleon Hill. It never gets old. We got away from it. We got so much going on, but we're going to get back to that, and we're going to talk about that. And we've got a great seminar coming up on July 11th, the weekend after 4th of July. So 1 week from Saturday, with Mike King and me. Mike will be talking about the hidden secrets of World War II, and I'll be picking right up on that and talking about hidden secrets of the inner earth. And believe it or not, they're very much connected. So get ready for that. I'll get you the URL post haste, and you'll be able to go there and take advantage of that great seminar. It's going to be about 3 hours long. It'll be a great, great time. A lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to having you there. But today, let's talk about going back to the Outwitting the Devil. And as you'll find, if you're a student, and I know most of you are, and as I have found, since I am a student, I found that a lot of times great minds, especially those that were growing up contemporaneously, those people will sometimes talk about the same things. And it's going to be great to watch that. And we've got an example of it here. So let's go ahead and get into our program today. Let's get into what we're talking about. And we're talking about from the Outwitting the Devil. But it just shows us that more than ever, now is the time for Dianetics. We've gotten away from that a little bit only because of other things happening, but we will get back to that in a thorough and complete fashion. In the world, folks, and this is coming from Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, the world is in need of a practical, understandable philosophy of achievement, organized from the factual knowledge gained from the experience of men and women in the great university of life. The days are over. The days are over for us trying to find understanding, philosophy, achievement, enlightenment on dusty old books written thousands and thousands of years ago, or dusty old books channeled by some being, or listening to some poor, pathetic individual get channeled information today. No, we need something that's practical, that you can use. We need something that's understandable. It's not written in Pleiadian. We need something that is a workable philosophy. And we need something that is work from factual knowledge, from the experience of men and women just like us, not on Aldebaran, not 2,000 years ago or 6,000 years ago, but in the great university of life in which we live and move and have our being today, here, now. That's what we're about. That's what we're about. And in the entire field of philosophy, Hill said he found nothing which even remotely resembles the sort of philosophy which he had in mind, and the sort of philosophy I have in mind. We have a few philosophies who are capable of teaching men and women the art of living. There's like no philosophies capable of teaching men and women the art of living. So we need to learn, and this is me again. When you see the lowercase writing like this, that'll be Mr. Hill coming from his book, and the uppercase writing generally is me. So we need to learn how to achieve in all areas of life. Mr. Carnegie actually meant Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill is letting us know that the process of indoctrination is just as important as learning what is right. And really, they work together. And we must face error. And in truth, error must be unlearned first. Unindoctrination is the mother of enlightenment. That's just the way it is. Unindoctrination is the mother of enlightenment. Now, Mr. Hill says that this job of finding a practical philosophy that works, he says it'll take at least 20 years of continuous effort, during which the one who undertakes it will have to earn his living from some other source. The person that can come up with the philosophy that is practical and can change lives, that person will have to have undertaken at least 20 years of continuous effort, will have to have earned his living from some other source. And this type of research is never profitable at its onset. And most of the time, it's just never profitable. This is a challenge for those wanting to launch into a truly helpful work. Overnight revelation is a deception. Now, there's plenty of people on YouTube that have been in the spiritual work about 15 minutes, but they want you to believe that they have all the answers. I've been in it 40 years, and I'm just beginning to approach a place where I might have some things that are proven to be able to share. The shiny object people, that's what Tracy calls them. It's the squirrel people, shiny object here, shiny object, never, always learning, but never really able to come into the knowledge of the truth. Overnight revelation is a deception. It just is. There's no replacement for time in grade. That means just time. Ever notice that all of the gurus are Johnny-come-latelys? All of the gurus are Jill-come-latelys. They all just got out of this, or they all just came out of that. They all just got a message, ate pizza too late one night, are learning from. They're hearing from some entity, and they've only been around 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Maybe. Johnny come lately, Jill come lately. I've been doing this since most of them were still shitting themselves. Yeah, they all just got out of prison. I've been doing this since they were shitting themselves. 40 years. For what it's worth. I've done the work. And along towards the end of your labor, along towards the end of your 20 years, Mr. Hill says, if you carry it through successfully, you'll make a great discovery, which might even come at the time as a great surprise to you. You'll discover that the cause of success is not something separate and apart from the man. See, that's the problem. Hey, Lydia, that's the problem. The ones that got out of prison, the ones that hear from gurus, the ones that have been here 15 minutes, the ones that are shiny objects, they all have something to show you that is outside of you, that's separate from you, that's apart from you. It's the Bible. It's the Father. It's the Mother. It's the sister. It's the brother. It's the Pleiadians. It's the 9. It's the 10. It's the 12. It's the angels. It's the devils. It's something separate and apart from the man, that it is a force so intangible in nature that the majority of men never recognize it, a force which might be properly called the other self. It's you. Anything that causes you to seek for an answer outside of you is wrong, period. Jeff, are you saying I shouldn't search for God? Not if you want to search outside yourself. You'll be wrong. Angels, demons, magic. We got poor Wayne. Good-hearted guy, I think. Some disagree. Poor Wayne, now he's decided that he's going to learn from magic. He's going to pay tolls, fees, taxes, and assessments to use some other being's juice. So sad. You got all these other sad people using kind of the Bible, but not the Bible. It's so sad, ladies and gentlemen. It's so sad. Noteworthy is the fact that the other self seldom exerts its influence or makes itself known except at times of unusual emergency, when men are forced through adversity and defeat to change their habits and to think their way out of difficulty. That's why you've heard me say so many times, you don't know who somebody really is until they're really under pressure. You don't know what somebody's really got on the inside until everything on the outside is absolutely falling apart. And folks, I know it's a ham-headed segue, but thinking of things absolutely falling apart, our great races are falling apart. The white race is reproducing at less than reproduction value. The black race is reproducing at less than reproduction value. Our Hispanics are doing a little better. But folks, there's an all-out war on male virility. There's an all-out war on male fertility. There's an all-out war on sexuality between men and women. And we are fighting back with the Phoenix. The Phoenix will end erectile dysfunction. The Phoenix will end cellulite. And the Phoenix will end many injuries. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com. Click on the Phoenix logo. They're on sale for a very, very short time. And I believe you're getting 2 for 1. So you've got to go check that out. It is maybe one of the most important things we talk about because sexuality is so tied up in who we are. We're trying to get you to physical optimization so you can obtain spiritual optimization that much quicker. As Natalie steps into the building, good to see you, Natalie. It's been a minute. But folks, people get worried when these times come, times of emergency, times where we're forced, times where we've got adversity, times when there's defeat and temporary defeat. Know this, all defeat is temporary. Some people, when they get to these places, emergency, adversity, temporary defeat, that's when they run to the people that are the gurus that say, Jesus is the answer. The Pleiadians are the answer. I'm the answer. The Father's the answer. The Mother's the answer. That's when people are tempted to go and run for something. But that's a temptation that we must resist because that's what we find out. That's why I'm glad to have these times come. I'm glad to see these times of stress because you're able to see who's who. The person you watch on YouTube that you think is so great. During these hard times, are they talking positive or are they talking negative? Are they talking optimistic or are they talking pessimistic? Are they talking possibilities or are they talking gloom and doom? You know the answer. If they're talking doom and gloom and end and fear and terror, they're not real. They're lying to you. And you've got to become smart enough to realize it. Here, people think I'm crazy, but I'm talking about things are good and gonna get better. Tracy Dyer with great satire says it definitely makes people's masks come off or go on, as it were. But things are going to be better than they've ever been sooner than you can ever imagine. Why? Because I know who you are. And I know what this emergency is going to bring out of you. It's going to bring out what you really are, and I know who you really are. I know what this emergency is going to bring. And it's interesting that Natalie showed up in the chat room. Her and her significant other. Terrible, worst financial times in forever, right? There's an old saying that says, hustlers love recessions. I was in Vegas, went through a recession, found out what it meant, and started a wave that I rode to the top. Natalie and her significant other have made mid-six figures money during this bad time. How is that possible? Are they selling drugs? No. They got busy. They found a niche. They found a need. Emergency came. Temporary defeat came. And what did they do? Instead of crying in their beer and looking for somebody to blame or looking for some place to run to and hide out with a bunch of weirdos. They changed their habits. They changed their way of thinking, and they found a solution, and they're making more money now than they've ever made. How do you think that helps their spiritual optimization? When they feel good about themselves, they feel empowered. Do you think they're less likely or more likely to step into spiritual enlightenment? Of course, they're more likely. Just like when you're physically empowered, you're more likely to step into your spiritual empowerment. There's a reason for everything, folks. And Napoleon Hill said, my experience has taught me that a man is never quite so near success, or a woman, as when failure has overtaken him. For it's in the time of failure that you're forced to think. You quit relying on the guru, or you're really stupid and you run to the guru. You quit blaming on everybody else because you still can't eat. You still got no gas for your car. You actually start thinking. Hustlers love recessions. You start hustling. And when you hustle, you by accident, you'll run into stuff. By accident, you'll run into stuff. With persistence, you discover that your failure was really nothing more than a signal to rearm yourself with a new plan or purpose, especially when you're locked up in your house. You got plenty of time. Don't watch porn. Don't play video games. Don't masturbate the whole time. Find a new plan. Find a new purpose. Most real failures are due to limitations which men set up in their own minds, like I'm a sinner, like I got to live by the Bible, like Jesus is coming back to save me. That's what causes you to lose. Jesus is not coming back to save you. Nobody's coming back to save you. Jesus is too busy working. If you have the courage to go one step further, you'll discover your error. And when you discover your error, that's when you'll discover your way out. Thank goodness for these hard times. Thank goodness for these dark times, because a lot of people never would have went to the dark night of their soul. But we got forced into it this time, and it's caused a lot of people to find something within them that they didn't know was there, and now they are leveraging it and building on it. Sometimes a little bit of fear is a good thing. It's a time to discover your true self. Fear is fear is going to do one of two things. Fear is going to motivate the hell out of you to get up and make a change, or you will surrender to it and it'll become a self-generating morass. And you will end up with more ass because you won't do anything. You'll just sit around. A morass is a complicated or a confused situation. Like Cynthia says, you find your strength through adversity. You find out who you are. If you have strength, you'll find it through adversity. If you don't have any strength, you'll find that through adversity too. The controlling forces in this world, especially now, ladies and gentlemen, June 2020, as we record this live from the heartland, the controlling forces of this world are engaged in an all-out effort to keep us in a state of indecision and fear. They're forcing us to hole up inside, and this causes us to be idle. And we know the idle mind is the enemy's workshop. And you're looking in the mirror, you're not liking what you're seeing. I got to do this because it just fits in so well. You're looking in the mirror, you don't like what you see. It makes you depressed. It makes you feel sad. It makes you feel like all hope is lost. But folks, all hope isn't lost. And you can get yourself improving in your looks, which will help you improve in your feelings. Our great friend, Jay Campbell, has helped pioneer a seer custom. You can regrow your hair. Men, you're losing your hair. Ladies, you're losing your hair. It makes you feel terrible. Or your skin doesn't have what it used to have. The peptides are the answer. You can regrow yourself, your skin, your hair. You can have it again through the use of peptides. And if you look better, you're going to feel better. You're going to do better. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Seer custom logo. You'll see it. It's this A right there that's up in the corner. Check it out. We're trying to get you physically optimized so you can get yourself spiritually maximized. I sound like Joe Biden. We all know the idle mind is the enemy's workshop. And they, the people that are putting us here, know that most people will spend all the idle time in worry, especially as they feed on a steady diet of mass media, which is the secular media you see on TV, and the ass media is the dingbats that you see on YouTube. And let's face it, I think that times are good and getting better. I know that the best times are just around the corner. But let's face it, the reason why things are good and getting better, the reason why it'll be better than it's ever been, sooner than you can ever imagine, is because we're facing the greatest emergency of our lives. Many of you have never faced anything like this before. Many of you have never gone through something like this before. Me, I've been curled up in the fetal position on the floor of a condominium crying for death. This is just another walk in the park for me. I've been there, done that, overcome. Here I am. But many of you, this is it. The time has come. And the time has come for you to do something. The time has come for you to decide whether you will surrender or you will fight. It's up to you. It's time for you to make a decision. And only you can make this decision, ladies and gentlemen. Only you. Only you. Make a decision to make a decision. Give yourself a time frame. Say by Monday, after 4th of July weekend, I'm going to have made a decision. I'm either going to surrender, just go into the matrix and be like the one guy that went back to the matrix, eating the steak and the smoking the cigar, drinking the wine. Can't remember his name. Either you're going to go back into the matrix or you are going to fight until there's nothing left in you to fight. Make a decision to either surrender or to fight. Make a decision. And then once you've made that decision, and give yourself a time frame. By Monday, by tomorrow, in the next hour, give yourself a time frame. And then once you have made your decision within the allotted time frame, no extensions, make your decision. Then either lay down your arms, turn in your cousin's card, and go back into the matrix, and hopefully you'll get another chance. Can't guarantee that, but hopefully you will. Or join us. Pick up your arms. Pick up your weaponry. Decide that you are either going to win. Back in Rome, they either came back carrying their shield or they came back being carried on their shield. So decide. Are you going to quit, or are you going to either come back carrying your shield or come back being carried on your shield? And then once you've decided whether you're going to be victim or victor, burn your bridges. Leave yourself no way of return or escape. Monkey Experiment says that was Greece. It might have been Greece. You're right. Leave yourself no way of return. When, who was it? Cortez sailed to the New World. He unloaded his soldiers. They unloaded their cargo. And then they burned their ships in the harbor, set them on fire. As a result, his men were highly motivated. Burn your bridges and burn your ships. Leave yourself no other option but to succeed or die trying. That's the only way you'll ever discover your true self. Now you can quit and you can go halfway and you can play the guru game. You can play the yes, I'm sort of and not, and yeah, I play, and you can play that little game, but you'll never find out who you really are. You'll never discover your true self. Brandon's discovering his true self right now. Do you really want to oh, I want to discover my true self. Do you? Oh yeah, I'm ready. Really? Here's some gas. Here's some matches. Get to it. Makes a difference, doesn't it? Decide there is a way. Whoops. Go back, Jeff. Decide there is a way, and do not stop until you find it. And this says a way out, but you know what the way out is? This time, folks, it's the way through. It's the way through. Decide there is a way, and do not stop until you find it. And it might be today, but it might not be. It might be tomorrow, but it might not be. It might be next week, but it might not be. But it's coming sooner or later. Once you've decided, once you've burned the bridge, once you've burned the ships, once all of your options of retreat are exhausted, like a flash of lightning, an idea, an inspiration, a motivation will flash into your being, and you will be unstoppable. This is our time of testing. Many of us have been reduced to poverty. Many of us have been humiliated. This is for a reason. They have a reason to put us sequestered at home. They have a reason to make us not be able to fly unless we put on a stupid mask. They have a reason for letting us not travel here and not travel there. They have a reason for not letting us do this and not letting us do that. But that's not the reason. The real reason is that all this is allowed to happen. All this has been allowed to happen so that you will be forced to make a decision of whether you want to discover your true self or not. And then it's here to help you get started along the journey. It's our time of initiation. It's our time of differentiation. It's our time. We say we're the last generation of real people. Now we get a chance to prove it. We say we're divine. Now we get a chance to prove it. We say we're sovereign. Now we get a chance to prove it. We say we're free. Now we get a chance to prove it. This is the greatest time of your life, and perhaps the greatest time in all of human history. We're being forced to change our habits, our religious habits, our spiritual habits, our physical habits, our mental habits, our intellectual habits. And we're being changed to let go of ways that we've always done things and to think of and discover new ways to do things. Great emergency has brought you an even greater opportunity. Great emergency has brought you an even greater opportunity to decide if you want to discover your true self, and then to be able to get the nudge you need to do it, to discover also if what we talk about is real. We claim to have all the answers. We claim to know what we're doing. We're fixing to find out if that's true or not. Someone's about to be proven right, and someone's about to be proven wrong, and I'm excited about that. Because someone's about to be proven right, and we will be able to move forward in that victory, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about discovering your true self. And once we decide, we can move forward with resolution. No more half measures, no more yeah buts, and no more round to it. Just doing it. You will have the gift of a clear mind. I know what I'm to do. Our faculties of reason will function efficiently again. Our true self will take command again. We will be completely in charge of ourselves. We will be educated to the true nature of our struggle. Because see, folks, there's really two yous. There's really two yous, or there's the appearance of two yous. There's really not two yous, but there's an appearance of two yous. And the best way to help yourself get your two yous amalgamated is through the use of focused life force energy, high consciousness on demand, high tone scale on demand. It'll surround you with a high consciousness field. It'll make it just that easier for you to move into it. This experience, folks, that we're going through right now, this experience will show you that there's two minds that occupy your body. And that they're actually constantly fighting for the ultimate control. One is motivated by and responsive to fear. One wants to listen to the guru. One wants to listen to the fear. One wants to listen to the guilt. One wants to listen to the woe. One wants to listen to the doom. One wants to listen to the gloom. One is motivated by and responsive to fear. Fear being in the form of aberration, which is something wrong in your mind, your life track, and the restimulation of it. And the other is motivated by faith, not church faith, not Christian faith, not Jesus faith. That's fake. That is what they call faith is stupidity. I'm not going to read. I'm not going to study. I'm not going to look for anything. I'm going to ignore all evidence because I've been told what to do, and I call that faith. No, faith is knowing. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the substance of things hoped for. I know that this is going to happen because I'm manifesting it to happen, and it's the evidence of things not yet seen. I know this is going to happen because I'm manifesting it to happen, and I'm one divine, sovereign, and free son of a bitch. You can either be motivated by fear, aberration, restimulation, or you can be motivated by faith, knowing that you're divine, you're sovereign, you're free, and what you're setting in motion is to be, period. One's dominant, one's submissive. And if you want to submit to a savior, submit to a religion, submit to a guru, submit to a spell, submit to some type of ceremonial magic, that's up to you. It's a mistake. You'll regret it. Be dominant. Be divine. Be sovereign. Be free. You are divine. You are sovereign. You are free. You've got everything you need, and that's what you're here to learn. And you will either learn this and realize you're divine, sovereign, and free, take the reins, or you will continue to accept help and you'll come back here again. Think about that. The only way to get out of this matrix, in this secular matrix, this coming back, all the magic you need is in you. The only savior you need is in you. All of this reincarnation, this secular coming back to this matrix, it's all until you learn that there's no other help than what's inside you. As long as you're looking for a savior, you're coming back again. As long as you're looking for help from father, mother, sister, brother, angel, uncle, aunt, demon, you're coming back. As long as you're thinking that you can rent your power through sigils, spells, incantations that are not of your own, you're coming back. Until you realize, okay, I've got to do it on my own, you are coming back. And here's something that just dropped in my mind. You don't even have to be successful to get out of here. Success is, I'm going to do it my damn self. If it is to be, it's up to me. That's success. And if you maintain that to the end, you win, even if you never really win. Do you get what I'm saying? The victory is up here and in here. The victory is, I'm going to be divine. I'm going to be sovereign. I'm going to be free. I might be on this damn street in this cardboard box, but it's my box. And I'm divine, and I'm sovereign, and I'm free. By all outward definition, you failed, but you've won. Why? Because you have manifested your divinity, your sovereignty, your freedom. You don't even have to win. You don't even have to have the outward appearance of victory to win. All you have to do is say, I'm divine, I'm sovereign, I'm free, and live it. Don't look for any help from anybody or anything outside of you. No angels, no angels. No gurus, no gurus. No cinemasters, no cinemasters. No avatars, no. Just you. Just you. Now, if somebody drops by to give you a sandwich, I recommend you take it if you're hungry. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. There's two yous. And they're really the same. One is balanced and one's unbalanced. The one that is motivated by fear, the one that's aberrated, unbalanced. The one that is motivated by reality and divinity and sovereignty and freedom, balanced. And you can learn how to let the balanced one be in control. See, this is why, folks. This is why to some people, nothing is impossible. And this is why to other people, nothing is possible. You can go on YouTube right now and listen to people that claim to know better tell you that it doesn't matter. Oh, we believe that you can manifest, but things have been put into place, which it doesn't matter what you manifest anymore. They have to be. Wait a second. You just said, I can manifest my world, but then you said, I can't manifest my world because somebody's decided that something's already going to happen. That sounds like some bullshit, only because it is. To some people, nothing is possible because they don't think they can do it, or because they think the Bible says, or prophecy says, or this or that. No. To some people, nothing is possible because they want you to depend on them. To other people, nothing is impossible. We're of the nothing is impossible people. Tracy says she's possible. The future's always subject to change. It is. How can you tell who thinks nothing is impossible, and how can you tell who thinks nothing is possible? You can see it in a person's words. That's not a typo. You can see it in a person's words. Are the person's words motivated by faith, manifesting, knowing, empowerment, divinity, sovereignty, freedom? Then you know who they are. Or are their words motivated by fear, gloom, doom, doubt, failure, crash, collapse? We can't change it. It's written. You decide. Are you on team knowing, or are you on team fear? You've got to make a decision, and you've got to make a clear-cut decision. You can't be a little team Sam and a little team Dean here. You got to pick one or the other. You got to decide. And then you got to get to work. Working it out, walking it out, making it happen. Your ship is not coming in. I'm waiting for my ship to come in. It's a long wait because your ship ain't coming in. You got to swim out and meet that ship. Wow. Ooh, impossible. And I saw someone else said this, but I just see it with Shar here. Impossible means I'm possible. Boom, I love it. Elizabeth says the only thing that's constant is change and flow. And you can either change and flow through divinity, sovereignty, and freedom. You know what that means? Divinity, let's just break this down for a second. Divinity means you've got the spark of divinity in you. You've got the creative essence within you. That's divinity. What's sovereignty? Sovereignty means that you apply that divinity. Well, if the only constant is change and flow, well, then I am going to decide where I flow. I'm going to decide where I go. That's sovereignty. And then once you have decided you're divine and you start manifesting your sovereignty, the result of that is freedom. Oh, I'm divine, so I choose to do this, and having made my own choice and doing my own thing, boom, I'm free. And if you free your mind, your ass will follow. Trust me. That's the way it works, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way it works, cousins. That's the way it works. And it does work. You might doubt it. It does work. If you're doubting it, go to c60purplepower.com. Grab you a bottle of C60. Make sure you use the code TCW10. You get a nice discount, and it'll help you. No. It'll help you become convinced. It really will. That's why we work with these people. We'll go through the chat room since we have a little bit of time. And whew, nice to see Nigel. Nice to see Tracy, Brandon. I wonder if the Dark Knight's about Batman. No, but Imaginary Man, we're glad you're here. Just the same. Francois, nice to see you. Cynthia, as always, the lovely Cynthia is here with us. Annie's here. Jama's here. Jenny May is here. Joe's here. Paul. Again, Brandon. Brandon is launching out. He's burned his bridges. He's burned his ships, and he is on the way to divinity. He's already decided divinity. Now he's on his way to sovereignty and freedom. It's an exciting ride, Brandon. We're with you. Jen is here. Serial Dog is here. And the ever-present Tracy Dyer, she's here as well. Loymax 620, kind of wondering. That's okay. It's a little weird the first time you hear it. I get it. Gary Baxter's here. Lionel's here. I'm just looking at some of the Imaginary Man just looked at our show about Trump and Patton. That was a good one. That was a good one. Let's see. Lydia's here. Lydia got hidden by Cynthia. I wonder what she did. I missed that one. That's funny. That's funny. And this is true. Gary's talking about getting a better payoff by watching what they do as opposed to what they say. 3 Fractures is here. Nice to see you. Oh, Cynthia didn't mean to hide Lydia, I guess. Well, that's not as good a story, but it's a better reality, isn't it? It's time for us to rise up, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for us to rise up. Paul's here. Natalie's here, as we said. Nikki's here. Weston's here. PJ McCollum's here. We're in the middle of our final exams. Yes, we are. Yes, we are indeed. Elizabeth is here. Sorch is here. Nice to see you. 3 Fractures has been making good money through this whole thing. Hart Walker has been here. Perfect. Nice to see you here. PJ McCollum, don't know if I mentioned your name. You're here. Nice to see you. Beautiful stuff, folks. Powerful stuff. Francois says optimized. Stick around. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Little trollage going on. That means we're over the target. That's good. That's good. I like it that way. No surrender. Lydia says you can't unsee it, and you really can't. You don't want to unsee it. Martha says that she's very grateful. Our minds must be connected. You're speaking right to me. Well, I'm glad. We're in a great place. We'll be victims or victors, says Tracy, which is so true. So true. Heart Walker knows that fetal position. They're tenacious. Mr. Ackelwill, nice to see you here. Truth Seeker 9261. Too many not living by sight, or are living by sight. Well, because they're looking for signs. A sign, something you can see. How can you say I walk by faith, but I look for signs? You can't. Well, you can say it, you just can't do it. If you're looking for signs, then you're living by something other than faith. Lamac 620, nice to see you. Rosanna Alvarado, talking about some Espanol, which I'm not up to yet. Nice to see you, Rosanna. Whew, there you go. Muy bien, dude. I know that one. Mary Huffsmith, have faith in yourself. Absolutely. Francois says submission is not in his vocabulary in any language. Bang on, Jeff. I intend to. Thank you. Monkey experiment. You have to tell people they're free. Isn't that a weird thing? It is. Critical thinker has found her golden ticket. So glad. CHR-E, Bible belief is consistent to punishment. Yes, it is. That's why you shouldn't do it. TT, thank you. Appreciate it. Well, folks, looks like we're about to the end. And Dr. Linda's here. Always makes me a little worried when someone... Anyway, nice to see you, Dr. Linda. Nice to see you. Hey, guys, you can hit that like button on the way out. It drives the channel up in the algorithm. Cynthia's right. I hope that you'll do it. Well, folks, this is a great time. Daniel B. is present. It's very simple. Ask questions, question answers. That's how you indoctrinate yourself. Then you got to get ready to lead, because you're one of the chosen then. We're the last generation of real humans, and we're here to lead the charge to victory. It's just the way it is. But you've got to decide to decide. You decide how long it's going to be. Don't give yourself past Monday. Am I going to decide? Yes. And once I decide, I'm either going to decide to quit or I'm going to decide to be all in. And it's up to you. And remember, you don't even have to, quote unquote, win to win. You just got to be all in. And that's what being a cousin is all about, is being all in. For Tracy Dyer and our other great moderators, for the lovely Cynthia, I will steal a line from Tracy Dyer and say, I salute you all for being here seeking after truth. And why not make July 4, 2020 your Independence Day? There's nothing to it but to do it. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. We'll see you next time.